Wonder.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that.
Hi y'all. I wanted to get on here to have story time with you guys and share my experience of what I do for a living. As you can see from the hat, I work for Prime Inc. I'm in the trucking industry. Um, I actually really enjoy Prime a lot. But let me tell you how I got started. So, my story wasn't as simple as everyone else's. I'm only 26, so I went through this time period of trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I have 2 degrees, one in teaching, and the other is in healthcare, medical assistant. So, I actually worked in healthcare for years, um, since 2014, I think. And then I switched over to teaching. I was switching back and forth from teaching to healthcare. I ended in healthcare, and then I decided to give this trucking thing a try. Now, a little backstory. So, my daddy has been a truck driver pretty much my entire life. Grew up, didn't like it, didn't want no parts of it, didn't want to touch a truck, didn't want to sit in the truck. Like when I rode with my dad one time, and it was he does flatbed. Um, I rode with him one time, and it was the most boringest thing ever. Like I fell asleep. I went in the back and just went to sleep. I don't know how you do this. Like this is so boring. But I was also a teenager too, so I kind of was. I, I just didn't want to sit still. So, um, long story short, fast forward. Let's fast forward. So fast forward to my last year of healthcare. Um, I made really good money, but not what I'm making out here. So, and I also just didn't. I never really cared for having a supervisor on my back. If y'all get what I'm saying. I've always been a loner since a kid. I like being to myself. I don't like answering to anybody. I kind of like doing my own thing in my own space, in my own world. Um, so yeah, I technically thought about trucking a year before I came to trucking. I brought it up to my mom, and she was like, "What? No. Why you just don't work in healthcare? That's what you got your degrees in. That's what you got your degree in. Just do that." She really told me she think I should go back to school, and I'm like, "Yo, school is overrated." It really took me. I really had a hard time getting a degree, getting work with the degree I had. I had a medical assistant degree, and I really had a hard time. A lot of people will tell you once they come out of school, it's not as easy breezy as they try to make it seem. You're going to make all this big money as soon as you drop out of school, as soon as you get out of school. And it's not like that. It's not like that at all. But I did enjoy healthcare. I I wanted to experience something different. I never thought about trucking ever, because like I said, when I used to ride with my dad, it was so whack and boring. But then I got older, and I'm like, yo, I need to figure out what I like to do. I was going through a really long time period where I didn't know what I wanted to do with myself. Just trying to figure myself out. I know a lot of people that really have a hard time trying to figure out what their purpose is in life, and that was my story. So I end up applying to Prime. Um, Prime called me back. I want to say the next day, like seriously, the next day or the day after that, and they was like, so basically, when you trying to start, blah 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 blah. I said, well, I want to put my 2 weeks in. At the job I was at, I didn't just want to leave. I always put it in a 2 weeks notice, just for reputation reasons. I didn't want, just in case I had to go back or something like that. So I put in my 2 weeks. I told them I want to come on 2 weeks, and that way I could still make a check while I was down there in Missouri. So they sent me a bus ticket. I get on the bus, head to Springfield, Missouri, which is where the main terminal is, and immediately fell in love. That's really what happened. Immediately fell in love, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. What made me think about the reason I want to say I'm an advocate for Prime. I don't want to make decisions for, be the person that you base your company search decision with, but I will say, since I know about Prime, I will say that they really are a great company to start off with. The first thing that I noticed when I walked in the doors was the terminal. The terminal was huge. Well, it's gigantic. Like it's really magnificent. It's beautiful. And the other thing I noticed was how everything was set up for the drivers. If you get what I mean. Like, a lot of companies don't take the time out to even offer their drivers anything or show any type of appreciation to their drivers. Prime has a basketball gym, a movie theater, a pool table area, laundry rooms, a place for you to sleep if you don't want to sleep in your truck, everything, truck wash, mechanic shop, a restaurant. They got a post office inside of it, a hair salon, barber shop. They pretty much got everything in there. And they also allow you to get food for free on Fridays. And it ain't no little ham sandwich. They have a whole menu from ribs to Philly cheesesteaks to beef tips, anything. And that was one thing that I really, really noticed. How to me, it felt more like they were showing appreciative for everything that they drivers do. Now, there are companies out here that are just as big as Prime, and they don't have any of that for their drivers. I'm not saying that should be the main factor, but I'm saying I do pay attention. I observe a lot, and I pay attention to how a company treat their drivers. Nobody's perfect, so there are, you have people that have their own experiences. But for me, what I've noticed was how they set the terminals, all of them, up for their drivers. And that, to me, is important. And the other thing I noticed is Rob, the owner, he will be on the basketball court playing basketball with you. I mean, running the whole game. Like, and that was something that intrigued me too. A lot of bosses, you don't even know what your boss look like. You know what I'm saying? So that was very important to me. Like, of course, you get the owner get their money, but then he also dumped a lot of money into make sure his drivers are taken care of when they're at the terminal, and that's very important. Um, so when I got to Prime, they set you up in a room. They pay for everything, food, your room, um, the the charter bus they have come and get you to take you to your classes and stuff like that. Um, when I was at Prime, I battled a lot with doing the things that I wanted to do. Um, because my mom she wasn't really on board with me becoming a truck driver. She thought it was very dangerous, which it is. Um, and she thought I should go back to school and do something totally different. So growing up, I grew up in a Christian based family, and you pretty much had to be obedient to what your parent talking about, like what they want you to do or whatever. So growing up, I kind of based my entire life around what my parents wanted versus what I wanted. So a lot of times I would be working in a job and be unhappy simply because, oh, but mom and dad proud of me because this is something they want me to do. So they happy, but I'm not happy. And so when I came out here, when I went to Missouri, it made me face myself. And I did a lot of crying. I did a lot of soul searching. Um, Especially in this truck, because you by yourself a lot, so you don't really have nobody to talk to. So you pretty much talking to you and the good Lord. So if you don't have a relationship with him, trust me, you'll get one out here in this truck. So I did a lot of soul searching, and it was really hard for me because I always wanted to make sure my parents were happy and proud of me. And I thought me coming to Missouri to pursue trucking was not making my mother proud. My dad, he was on board. Because he's a truck driver, so he's like, I never thought you would be a truck driver, but hey, go for it. And he gave me a lot of pointers, a lot of advice. So what I would say is follow your dream, follow what God gave you, and nobody else's. Eventually, I ended up passing my CDL stuff the first time, and I was very happy. I called my parents, and I told them. They were super excited, and yeah, it was a great feeling. So, but I still was kind of like, I don't really know. I don't know if this is what's making my mama happy. So once I got in my own truck, after I got through training and all of that, I just came to the realization of, Miracle, you have to do what's best for you, what makes you happy, and that's all that matters. Eventually, everybody else gonna come around, because they see that this is something that you really enjoy doing. I really enjoy trucking. Like, I really do. I love being by myself. I love, having my own space. I just love it. I love seeing different cities. I love everything out here, and besides the traffic. Besides the traffic. So eventually my mother ended up coming around to the fact that I was a truck driver. So she finally told me one day, and I don't think she noticed, but she finally told me one day that she was proud of me. And she said, Rick, I'm so proud of you for following your dreams. Even when I tried to push you in a different direction, you still followed your dream. And I'm very inspired by you to do a lot of the things that I was kind of hesitant on doing. Y'all, that made me feel, I'm trying not to get emotional, but that is all that I wanted to hear from my parents, and I still do. As a kid, I don't want to say I'm a kid because I'm a grown woman, but you know, you always kind of wish for your parents or look for your parents' approval. Not saying that they are high and mighty, but I do put my parents on a pedestal. I do. So a lot of their opinions matter to me. And so when she said that to me, it really made me get emotional. She didn't know that. We was on the phone, so she probably didn't know that. But that's all I wanted to hear her say, was that she was proud of me for following my dreams. And so that is my story. I wanted to tell you my story. Hopefully it would inspire somebody to, do what they love doing, no matter what anybody say, no matter if people try to talk you out of it. There's always going to be someone that try to talk you out of anything that you're trying to do, especially when they haven't done it, and especially when it seems to them that it's difficult and hard to do. I promise you though, once you pull it off, they are going to be so happy and proud. I promise you. I promise. So that's my story time. I'm gonna try to stay updated up here on this YouTube thing, because I want to take you guys on my journey. And I know in the last video I did say that I have a surprise, and I wanted you guys to subscribe to my channel because I wanted to take you along, take you along this journey with me. So I still want you guys to to subscribe and take this journey with me. It's gonna be a real interesting journey. It's really huge, and I should be starting the full on journey experience probably, because I'm taking home time next weekend. So probably next weekend I will turn the camera back on so you guys can start this journey with me. I already started a portion of it, but I kind of had to make up in my mind that I wanted you guys to go along with me, because I'm very private. Like I said, I'm very to myself. I'm very protective. So I had to kind of figure out if this is something that I wanted to showcase or not. And I decided, especially since looking on YouTube and trying to find out information and people their inputs and stuff that they had to go through on this same particular journey, and I couldn't really find much. So that was another reason why I decided to go ahead and showcase this, because maybe someone else might be in the same journey that I'm in, and they looking for some information and trying to see what steps I took or whatever. So I want to be helpful for that. So yeah, you guys stay tuned. I promise it's gonna be major, and I will be back on here. Be safe, keep God first, be breezy.